What up YouTube and all you sexy Buddyfighters? I'm Dragon King and today I will be doing a deck profile on my Electrodiety deck. Now, if you like the character Miko in the anime, then this is the deck for you. Because right now I feel that every deck is playable in the meta, and you play any deck, it could be competitive as well, which is a very healthy meta and I like it that way. So, I know there's a lot of rarity horse out there, fanboys, and I did a fun little survey for you guys. So, comment down below which rank are you. Let's get on with the deck profile. Alright, so let's take some time to admire the beauty of this flag. Just look at it. Wow, this is really powerful, really beautiful. Purging Purifications, Protect Luminize. Now guys, I tell you, this will be one of the rarest flags out there, trust me, because basically flags, you can use it anytime, you know. It can be any season and you can still use this flag. Just like my Gao Mikado flag I had. No, right now I still tag it in my Dragon World deck and it's become a timeless piece of collection, which is really beautiful. Just look at this. Alright, then the buddy I play, Electrodiety of Light, Amaterasu. Now this is definitely the best choice of buddy because basically you can call it during any turn, and it is basically the buddy of the enemy. Also, there are different choices of buddy you can choose if you are more on the budget side, but I would recommend this buddy. So basically, it has 0 power, 2 crits, and 8k defense. Pay 2 gauge, counter. Choose one of the following 2. You may only use this ability once per turn. Basically, the first effect is charge 1 gauge. It gains, oh my gosh, it gains 8k power and double attack. The other effect is you gain 2 life, draw a card, and for this turn, it gets defense plus 4000. So usually we would want to use the attack option during your attack phase, and during your opponent's attack phase, you will want to use the defense option. Let me get this focus right. Next up, we have Unruly Electrodiety Susano. So later I will explain how do you actually use it during our opponent turn and what are some tips and strategies as well. So next up we play 3 of Unruly Deity Susano. So this one is pay 2 gauge, activate, pay 1 life. If you do choose one of the following 2, you may only use this ability once per turn. Same thing, you can use it during your turn or your opponent's turn. I will teach you guys later. So the first effect is for this turn, it gets triple attack and penetrate. Oh wait, okay, I'm sorry. You can't use it during your opponent's turn because it is not a counter. Only Amaterasu you can use during your opponent's turn, which is really freaking amazing. Okay, so the first effect is for this turn, this card get triple attack and penetrate. And next is it destroy all spells and items on your opponent's field. Sounds like some battle building counter. Which is really amazing. They make all the decks such that it can fight each other, which I really love it. And this card, naturally you want to equip this during your turn to have a maximum damage output. It is sort of like the Deity deck, you know. You can choose a more defensive card to defend, or for offense, there's a offensive choice as well. I only play 3 because the fact that you can't use it during your opponent turn, and it's only during your attack phase, which 3 is a good number because this deck actually allows you to search for so many, allows you to search. The search power for search engine for this deck is so powerful, and the draw mechanism and the retrieval power as well, which I will talk about it later. Next up we play 4 Guardian Electro Beast Goryu. So this card is your Daryl Barak. Basically you call him onto the field, check the top 3 cards, take one of them put into your hand, the rest into the drop zone. So this card is very powerful. It does not have any Electrodiety specific requirements, so this card will go to the long run. You can put it in any Katana World deck, you can tag it in any Katana, so it's good to have 4 pieces of this if you're a Katana World user, and it's just so powerful. But note that it says you may only call this one once per turn, so you can't call another copy and not use his effect. You can only call him once per turn. Also, it can be buddy material because you know you definitely call him every single turn. Next up we play 4 of Electro Beast Emissary Otora. Okay, so when this card enters the field, if you have another Electrodiety on your field, put the top card of your deck into your gauge, draw one card. Definitely play 4. This is also buddy material as well, but you know, naturally I prefer Amaterasu because it's freaking sick. Now this card, you definitely call him every turn, so it's a charge and draw. No, there's no reason not to play 4 of him. Next up, we play 2 of the double rare Electro Beast Emissary Shuto. Put an Electrodeity from your drop zone into its soul and pay 1 gauge. Electrodeity items on your field gets power plus 3000, defense plus 3000. Then if your life is 6 or less, they get critical plus 1. It has soul guard and move. Basically, it's a nice boost to your item. If you are equipped with Susano and you have 6 size of less, basically it gains you a 1 crit, which it is a 4 critical triple attack with penetrate. Now this card combos very well. It makes your Amaterasu 3 crits double attack as well, so it's very useful to tag in, and I really like it because of the power gain and defense gain. So now many cards defense can actually go pretty crazy, up to like 12k or so. You know, if you do not, even if at 10k, you know, sometimes you need that extra little boost to break through your opponent's defense, which is very important. I only take in 2 because you know, it's more of a, I would say it's more of a sideboard card or additional card. It's not super important, but it's just there to help you a lot. Next up, for spells, we play Ritual Harvest Prayer. Now you can only use, you may only cast your Electrodeity on your field, pay 1 gauge, draw 2 cards, your draw mechanism. Then if you have Electrodeity item on your field that has souls, interesting, draw a card. And you can only use this 1 per turn. So what do they mean by if you have souls? I will explain that later. Next up, we play 4 of Electrodeity Festival. Choose and use one of the following 2. Put up to 1 Electrodeity item from your deck into your hand and shuffle your deck. Counter, stand Electrodeity on your field. Now we definitely play 4 of this because number 1, it is as good as additional damage, you know. With a Susano, it's an additional 4 damage, and it's also an item searcher, which is very important. You always need to have an item on your field. Okay, I feel that I need to explain the item first, so I will give the item an explanation. We play 3 of the item Kaguya Belt of Worship. Now it has 3k power, 1 crits. At the start of each player's main phase, you may put a size 3 Electrodeity from your hand on top of this card. The card is treated as an item until it leaves the field. At the end of each player's turn, equip this card from an item soul and return the previously card equipped to hand. This card on the field and items in soul cannot be destroyed. If this card is in the soul of an item, it cannot be dropped by cards. Basically, if you have this card equipped, during each start of each person's main phase, you can call up to 1 size 3 Electrodeity top of this card. So let's say it's my opponent's turn. No, start of his main phase, I can call Amaterasu on top of it. I can use his effect, gain defense and gain 2 life and draw a card, which is amazing during opponent's turn. Imagine having 12k defense, your opponent would definitely, most likely have to link attack you, and that is crazy. You can stop it with a simple negate as well. So at the end of the turn, this card will return to your hand and you will re-equip this item. So basically you can choose the different modes of different size 3 you want to equip every single turn. And if you need offense, you go for offense. Naturally, during your attack phase, my attack phase, I would like to use this card. Equip it, have a triple attack rather than equipping this card, because this card only gives you double attack. But if you do not have this card, alternatively, you can use this as well, which is really good. The reason why I play 4 of these, because you can equip it anytime. It is good to equip it during your opponent's turn and during my turn. That card is only good to equip during my turn, honestly. So that's why I only play 3 of that. Okay, so for the spells, where do we stop? We stop here. We have a Nullify, Ceremonial Water Mirror. So you may only cast this during your opponent's turn, and if you have an Electrodeity on your field, nullify the attack. And if your items has soul, you gain 2 life, which is imagine just now if he were to link attack me, I just nullify and I gain 2 life, which is amazing. Definitely play 4. This card is amazing. Ceremonial Execution of Divine Punishment. You may only cast this if your Electrodeity item on your field have souls. Counter, use one of the following 2. For this turn, all cards on your opponent's field gets 3000 power minus 3000, defense minus 3000, and critical minus 1. Destroy a spell on your item, or item on the field. So this card is very powerful because, first of all, with your Amaterasu being a 12k defense, your opponent most likely have the link attack. And if they link attack and you cast this card, it's as good as reducing 6k power to their total power output, because it says 3k for every card on the field. It is similar to the Dragon Verse Loud Voice. So, and it also gains a critical minus 1, which is amazing because if your opponent, like example like Folktale, if they have many attacks, however they only attack with a 1 crit or 2 crit, it reduces a ton of damage, at least 5 to 6 damage, which is really definitely need to play for this deck. It combos so well with the deck. Next up we play 4 of Kaguya Electrodiety Welcome. So you pay 1 life, put 3 cards into your gauge, and then look at all of your gauge and put 1 card from among them into your hand. You may only cast this once per turn. So guys, do you know how crazy this card is? It's not just a Clear Serenity which just charges 3. It charges 3. Look at your entire gauge and pick 1 card out of it. How insane is this card, guys? This is basically it allows you to search from a good 5 to 6 cards from your gauge and allows you to get anything you're missing, that you're missing in the puzzle for your Electrodiety deck, which is just amazing. You want to negate, you take a negate. You need your buddy, you take your buddy. You want to kick butt, you kick butt. And that's crazy. Which is why this deck is so insane right now, because the draw mechanism is just amazing. Next up we have Electrodiety Return. Pay 1 gauge, put a total of 2 monsters or items with different card names from the drop zone into your hand. You may only cast this once per turn. So this is your retrieval. You know, if your opponent casts cards which doesn't allow you to draw, you can still take back monsters or items from your drop zone to your hand. This card is amazing. I play 3 of it. Also, you can also combo this card together with this card. Why do I say so? Because when you use this and you look at your entire gauge, you choose one of them, put it into your hand. You can remember which gauge, what cards are in your gauge. And if you need, you can take a negate, and if you need a size 3, you can remember the placing of your size 3 and combo it with this card. Because it pays 1 gauge, you can pay the size 3 and take back your Electrodeity size 3. Then you can combo this card together, which is really amazing. Miracle Fighters. I only play 2. I know this card is really powerful, it's really amazing, but the reason why I only play 2 because the deck itself has so much draw power, so much retrieval, and it's just, it can search your entire gauge. So I feel that this card, the most you need to play is 3 copies. Basically what it does is choose an attribute on the card on the field, pay 1 gauge, put up to 1 size 3 monster or item with attribute of the chosen card, and from your deck into your hand, and shuffle the deck. So you can only use Miracle Fighters once per turn. So basically, if you do not have an item or your Amaterasu or whichever size 3, you can use this card. But because of the insane amount of draw mechanism, a search mechanism, and as well as retrieval, I feel that you do not need to overextend and put too many search mechanism of these in your deck. So I say this card is good, but 2 to 3 is a perfect number. You don't have to go above that. Next up we play 2 of Demon Way Sakura Fubuki. This card is a pretty old card, so if you have a Katana World deck in the past, you most likely have this card. It's the only card which is not in the set over here. So pay 2 life, you may only cast this card when your opponent casts a spell. Counter, nullify the spell cast by your opponent. Is your basic spell negate with all the life gain you are getting from Amaterasu. The life gain here is not as painful, but do note that you're also only paying life, and now a lot of decks is pretty rushed. So you gotta take note of your life. And I tag in 2, you could play 3, or some people even play 4, depending on how, but you have to find the card first because it's from pretty old set. Alright, next up we play 2 of Wind Arc Deity Uzu Ikazuchi. When you use this card, your opponent can't use cards like Loud Voice or this to reduce your criticals. So it's definitely, if you're going in for 4 criticals, you know, and you use this card, basically Loud Voice won't do anything to you, which is really amazing. And with this combo, with a triple attack, basically you attack your opponent monster in the center, penetrate, you can destroy a monster at the side and deal 1 damage to your opponent. How crazy is that? And it says destroy a card, you know, it doesn't say, let me take a look. It just said destroy a card. That's sick. That's just insane. You only play 2 because, you know, you want to get your entire Electrodiety board set up first before you go in for the kill. And I've come to the end of the deck profile. So I will tell you guys some pros and cons of this deck. So first of all, the pros is an insanely rush deck. It has superb draw power, it has superb retrieval power, and it doesn't have any gauge problem, and it just destroys your opponent as a way to counter destroy your opponent cards and spells, which is amazing. Basically, it's almost a perfect deck. It doesn't really get affected too much by cards that does not allow you to draw. However, the cons are, you would most likely have to start first with this deck to gain all the advantage you can get. Because if let's say you start second, you equip this card, this item, there's no way for you right now, there's no way for you to call your Amaterasu on top of it immediately. It has to be at the start of the main phase. So once you equip the card, you know, the start of the main phase timing is already over. So the cons is, if you go second for this deck, you know, it isn't too good because you can't really rush your opponent all the way. Well, you could do this. You could set up this card on your board, goes for a triple attack, penetrate your opponent, which is insanely pain as well. But if your opponent manages to destroy this card, then it's gone, you know. Also, another con is this deck is one of the deck that revolves around a 1 card, sort of like Dragon Force. You know, it has 1 super powerful card, but if you destroy that card, then there's a high chance that your opponent could take control from that. But luckily, Amaterasu does not allows it cannot be destroyed. However, you can, if you have God Punk, you can send it to the drop zone, and it just destroys Amaterasu completely, because we all know there's this godly card in God Punk which can just, the core cost is to send your opponent card to the drop zone, you know. Browzillers, yes. And also, this does not protect you from any bounce card. So if your opponent manages to return your Amaterasu to your hand, then you're pretty much defenseless. So, which is crazy. So sometimes what I like to do is, you know, if it has a soul, your opponent casts a return spell, you know, maybe you can counter cast with this, because you can only cast this if your item has souls. You know, you can just do a final mode of defense, or you could just you can just spell now him. Alright guys, I hope you like this video, an introduction of Electrodeities. Also, check out www.buddy-mart.com, because they do sell singles all the way to constructed decks. It's pretty amazing. Alright, and also like and subscribe if you like this video. And alright, till next time guys, let's keep on buddy fighting.